Hi everyone, welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can effectively 1v1 on the controller just like the PC players can, so you can hopefully go away after watching this video with the knowledge to win more 1v1 duels or even carry the odd game for your team. So how exactly do we 1v1? And to answer that, we need to understand some basic flight trajectory first and how you can use the angles to your benefit. When we're in air combat, trajectory is basically your flight path, the direction in which you are headed in relation to your target's flight path. You can find your trajectory at any time by drawing an imaginary line from the nose of your plane, and where it meets in relation to your target is going to be your trajectory flight path. We have three basic trajectory angles. We have lead pursuit, lag pursuit and pure pursuit. Lag pursuit is typically a defensive approach and it's used to open up distance between you and the enemy. When your nose is pointed behind your target, you're doing lag pursuit. Lead pursuit is the exact opposite of lag pursuit, and it's simply where you're pulling lead and trying to get a shot on the target. If you take a look at your plane in relation to the target, when you're pulling lead, your nose will always be ahead or in front of your opponent. Lead pursuit can also be used to set up counter attacks, which I'll go over later in the video. The final pursuit angle, pure pursuit, is typically used before switching to lead pursuit, although the closure is much slower in pure pursuit. So it can also be used to maintain an equal energy state with your opponent. And when your nose is pointed directly at your opponent, you're basically doing pure pursuit. Okay, so now we've cleared up trajectory, let's go over the merge, because the initial first and second merge is going to be what dictates the fight. Generally speaking, whoever gains the edge in these two initial merges has the more advantageous position. So if you can help it, you want to try and win these first two merges. My preferred tactic for entering the merge is to position my plane slightly below the enemy. This allows me to open up distance after the merge, and I can then follow up with lead pursuit on the second merge, which puts me in a more favourable position, ready for an attack. So on the first merge here, I'm simply dropping altitude to build up speed, and just before we meet, I put the plane into a steep climbing turn using L1 for the max pitch, and I'm controlling the roll rate with the right stick. I then immediately go into a lag pursuit, keeping my plane positioned behind Terminator. This allows me to open up distance. Take note of how I am tapping triangle, which is my aim mode briefly, to move the cursor over my target so I can easily keep track of the target without having to constantly be adjusting my left stick. On the second merge, we want to try and switch to either pure or lead pursuit to help close up the distance. If we continue lag pursuit, we risk opening up too much distance. So before our wingtips meet on the second merge, I put the plane into a steep climb, positioning the nose just ahead of Terminator, which puts me into a lead pursuit. This closes up the distance, but again, if I continue this approach for long, we risk forcing it head on. So I switch back to lag pursuit to open up some distance again. And we're basically just going to continue this for some time, switching back and forth from lag to lead pursuit and vice versa until one of us gains the edge or makes a mistake. So at the top of the spiral, we're going to switch to lead pursuit here to try and engage a counter attack. And as soon as I realise I can't make the attack, I immediately switch back to lag pursuit. Remember, my goal here is to gain enough of an advantage that I don't need to make any of these unnecessary risks. It's a constant game of switching and baiting. If I make myself look like an easy target, I'm going to look very tempting from his point of view. Also, take note of how I'm constantly using the vertical to maintain my speed just enough so that I can evade if necessary. Here I can attempt to bait. Our energy states are close, but I entered this merge with an advantage since I was the first to pick up. So at the top of the spiral, we're going to switch to pure or lead pursuit again. This is going to allow me to follow up with a counter attack if he takes the bait. So we go full vertical here, try and pull lead. And he's taking the bait, so this puts me in a perfect counter attack position now. All I've got to do is simply hold this position until he drops in front of me, where I'm then able to go full vertical with the energy I'm going to pick up in the dive, and he'll literally just drop in front of me and I'll be able to dive down and take an easy shot. So we hold and he's just past us there, so we flip the plane over. And I wasn't quite certain of his energy state, so just one last bait here, because he's still actually managing to pull lift. And at this point I see he's just about slow enough, so I begin their counter attack. I have enough energy advantage after that bait there that I really don't need to worry about anything too much. So I go full vertical, bring out some flaps. You can bring out landing flaps to make this a faster transition. Basically you're aiming for the plane to just drop down smoothly. It's almost like a hammerhead. And you can also drop throttle as well if you need to do. So we drop down. Landing flaps out. And I get a nice full profile view of his plane there. Nice easy shot. And this is the kind of thing you want to be doing in duels. No risks, even in games. This would be, in random battles, this would be perfect. I mean, it could have been better. Ideally you want them to drop in front of you, but it's a very fine line with the energy. It can be very easy to misjudge it. But yeah, that is pretty much how you duel on a controller. I mean, there's really not that much to it. For the most part, it's just holding L1 and working the trajectory angles to your benefit. So I hope this video helps you guys out that are looking to duel on the controller, and more importantly, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this, and if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe. It helps the channel, helps get these videos out there. So I'll leave you guys now with some more duel footage to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.